Dzień dobry, Krakow, is it right? Yeah, getting there, getting there. Before I start, I think I would like to thank organizer Motorola Solution. I think we should all give a big applause to the organizer. It was really great. And it was my first time, so thank you. Oh, culture, yeah, we know that, right? So let me start by telling you my story. Many years ago, yeah, almost 30 years ago, I moved from Croatia to Denmark. And, I know this story about Denmark, what is it all about, kind of culture, tradition. And then I got my first job. And I met some people who has been in Denmark. Maybe you can recognize this. I got my first job and I saw these Danish people are eating kind of, some rye bread. I said, okay, this is interesting. I heard it was healthy. Okay, let me try. And one day, I took a plate and I was just starting, 2 pieces bread, and then from one end to the another. And I came to the table, and one of my Danish colleagues looked at me and said, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm hungry. I want to eat. You are not mixing these things. There is a rules about that. Where can I find it? I said, you cannot find it. You just need to watch, observe, and see what is it all about. Okay, and then he actually took me in one Danish, traditional Danish family restaurant when they are serving. And, there is some of these unwritten rules, what you are mixing. But imagine me mixing like a fish, with some eggs or something. It was awful, later on. But trust me, after almost 30 years, I'm still making mistakes. So, but while I'm telling this, many of us, are changing the company, changing the country, new city or whatever. And then we assume that we know about these things, But sometimes we should be curious, and that's what I did. I have been curious to explore, especially Denmark. But also what we will cover today, it's actually 2 cases where I worked with the 2 organizations, one scale-up organization in Copenhagen and one large organization in France, where we actually explored what does it mean to understand organizational culture and their values before bringing agility. I would also like to be a little bit interactive, so I think I have 3 questions for you, so I hope you will participate. And then I will really appreciate by the end to share your feedback. And my hope is that by the end of this presentation, you will identify or be more aware about your organizational culture and how you might bring agility or adapt agility to your organization values. And then we will also discover in the end, there is one magic word which can help us actually to solve that problems. A little bit about me. I live in Copenhagen, worked in the different companies, mainly here in Denmark. And then during the COVID, when all these providers, cut down the prices for the trainings, then I went crazy, I took a lot of trainings. And recently I got also this coaching certification and this leadership certification, but it's not about me. So let's explore it together. First question for you. How would you describe your current organizational culture? Anyone? Sorry? Yeah? Any thought? Yeah, okay, that's good, that's good. And it's nothing wrong or right here, that's just how it is. This is how we are doing things here. Control, yeah? Okay, that's also good depending on the, industry you are working on. If it's, pharma or, a bank industry, a lot of regulation and stuff. Let me ask you another question. What was the biggest surprise, cultural surprise for you when you joined the company? Yeah? Ah, okay, thanks. Anyone else? I know we need to think it's end of the day and so on, but maybe in the coffee shop, try to talk with, or in the breaks, try to talk with each other. But let me start the first case. I got hired in this small or scale-up fintech company in Copenhagen, around 100 people, and we want to go agile. We want to save, we want to scrum, and all these things. And as a founder, founder and CEO. If you are old enough like me, you probably remember Culture Club and Boy George and Kama Kama Camellia and so on. But he also nurtured culture of the burgers, beer, cola, and so on. And of course, the famous triangle like all companies. We want to go agile. They had a kind of envision that they want a scalable, affordable products and to deliver customer fast. Real agile words, right? All of us have experienced that. Then I asked them, what needs to happen in this organization to have a scalable, affordable product to deliver customer fast? And they told me, therefore we hire you, we want to go agile. Okay, fair enough. Do you have a business case for change? No, we just, CTO was previously working in bigger company and they use SAFe. Say, we want to go SAFe and it's save us the world and everything. Okay, fair enough. We worked together to create really this business case for change. And one thing what I learned and what I'm using when I'm talking with people or organization, I use this so-called 9-grid canvas. It really helps me and it helps also people I'm working with the simple questions where we can actually figure out it's not just focusing on processes or if it's some agile frameworks, but it is actually impacting the whole system. So what we decided there, we decided to explore the culture, how it is to work here. And yeah, they didn't know because everything was based on the founders, culture club and the burgers and so on. After a couple of iteration or some months, we came out on this one, and they realized actually that is impacting, although it's small organization, but impacting the whole organization. Everything, from processes, we decided that this PI planning from SAFe makes sense. And as Jenny mentioned this morning, together we actually organize our teams with the developers, sales, marketing, testing team. Everybody was mixed in one team, and in order to achieve the goals. We reorganize ourselves. We identify that some skills will be needed to upgrade it. And the owner and CTO, they like this governance. They want to be the business owner. It sounds so funny. Oh, I'm so strong. And then we had a couple of product managers and product owners, like mini SAFe setup. We had a good technology, and we also realized that by doing this, we need also to organize how we are going to work together. And understanding the impact of this and understanding what is the culture, what we are driving, what we are trying to achieve. For the first time in that time was like 6-7 years history of the company, they had a shared vision for the first time, which they communicated to the stakeholders, shareholders, and so on. We also identify for the first time their company values. What does it mean to work in this company? And just applying some of these Scrum meetings on the organization level, we minimize amount of meeting dramatically. Also, leadership team, they organize themselves, like a Scrum teams having, not daily, but they have like every second, third day, they have a daily, then they also had a planning and review and retrospect. They love it, really. But what that impact made, for example, for these agile teams, we start measuring in August, the cycle time. We heard also a lot of speakers talk about the cycle time and some measurement. But within 4 or 5 months, by having this clear vision and clear direction, what we are trying to achieve, actually minimize this cycle time dramatically. And then we create the transparency, also something what we are hearing, in Agile world, transparency, where we use it. I think it was Azure DevOps, where we created roadmaps, and everybody had the access, everybody could see what is happening, and so on. Now you might be thinking, yeah, it's a small company, flat hierarchy and everything, so yeah, it was easy. I don't know. Sometimes I used to say maybe I was, lucky that I had this full support to do this, but oops, sorry. But then I got a new challenge. I was hired to help 25 senior vice president in one old French company. And I don't know, do we have a French people here or someone who worked in France? No? Or yes? We know how French people can be, right? So sometimes, especially on the leadership level. That was new for me. I need kind of to understand first, French culture in the corporate environment, but also how to work them. What they wanted actually, first meeting I had with them, I asked them, okay, what is your challenge? And interesting thing is, every time when you ask the people about challenges, everybody is pointing on organizational part. Many few are pointing on their personal side, what is challenge for them. And as you can see here, the list was kind of endless. And here they had some technology because they are senior vice presidents. AI is coming, this generation, how they can keep the talent and so on. So okay, fair enough. So they told me also, we run this agile transformation so many times, it just didn't work it. And then they realized, more they are pushing agile into organization, that this old, long-standing organization pushing back. And that's because of this culture stuff. Because some smart consultants came and said, agile will save you the world, you will, everything and so on. And then, just reality hits. And I think one of the speakers also this morning mentioned the context, they didn't understand the context why we need this agility. So what they realize actually, it's their responsibility. Also one presentation from this morning, I think, leadership team needs to take responsibility for this change or transformation instead of delegating or outsourcers or something. And they realize actually it starts with the culture. But how we discover this? We ran a cultural survey using this, if you are aware, competing value framework, really good framework which you can apply both for team level, organization level. We asked I think 700 people across the Europe, different plants and managers and these guys, vice president, and of course. On their level, they see everything is like, honeymoon, ooh-ha. But then when we went down a little bit, on the level, especially on the plant level, it was totally different results, totally different reality. Then they realized that, yes, we know, we are pushing for this, control and we are competing, but it's not only that they were competing actually, against their competitors, they are competing against each other, different plants. And they had a constantly kind of, they call it war rooms, crisis, missing components and so on. And then I asked it for example, and one guy said, in my factory in Hungary, we were missing component. We ordered it in China, it was 3 months delayed. I said, okay, it's happened. Then I asked him how much it will cost you to drive from Budapest just to Prague, to Czech Republic, by your car. But it was kind of small components, nothing big. And he looked at me and said, I never thought about it. Can I do that? So, I think you can, Then they start realizing, if he wants to keep the talents and the people and create environments where people can drive and stay in organization, then we need to do something about it. So what they discover it is actually their responsibility and leadership responsibility. They need to, I would not call it adjust, but maybe adapt new behaviors and the new mindset for them. But they also need to understand how their current structure, current policies, and how they are measuring success and employee satisfaction, how that fits with this idea by bringing agility. And they were kind of surprised, I would say, because just like in this 9-grid canvas what I showed in the previous company, they realized it's impacting the whole system. And they were not taking any frameworks. They want to embrace more agility, behave, focus on the results, deliveries, and so on. So now I have a last question for you. I think we have a time. Maybe 2 or where you are sitting, just talk for 1 or 2 minutes. How does agility align with your current organizational structure, policies, and measurement? Let's spend 1 minute, just talk with each other, and then someone can share. Or does it? Okay. Anyone would like to share? Anyone would like to share? Come on, guys. Or who would like to share?
Maybe they will mute me. I will say on the recording.
Whatever is happening in this room, stay in this room.
We'll talk about it. But so for me, about the structure, I would say on the level of teams, there's like possibly a lot of agility and a lot of adjusting, like and even like, okay, when it's ready, or how we can make it's ready. The policies, I would say there is like more control and rules, but I would say it's like the context that it has to be secure, it has to be safe. So there's like a lot of rules that we have to follow for safety of our clients, of customers. And the measures, I would say on the level of product, at least with my product, we are trying. So, but structures above the teams, hard.
Yeah, it's okay, and that's also something that we should. Anyone else would like to share? Come on. Yeah, I can see someone.
So hey, so as the structure, I see our leaders say like, yeah, do agile, but they don't have mindset. So they just know a buzzword. So in this case, it impacts our measurements because when we show the measures or KPIs from agile, they say it's not effective, it's too slow, it's too costly, yada, yada, yeah. And about the policies, it's kind of similar. It's not safe, you don't produce enough documentation and so on and so forth. So yeah, we didn't understand, let's say, the culture when we started to implement agile, and that's why we failed.
Yeah. Thank you very much both for sharing. And that's also, we also started this conference with, is agile still the answer? I will reframe it while we are facing all these challenges. Are the frameworks still the answer? Agile is always with us, and agility is always with us. How can we move and adapt in the new situation? I'm using agility during the COVID. All of us get stuck, right? Oh my God, working from home, kids are there, husbands are there, or partner is there. But, at least for me, took me, I don't know, 2 weeks, and it was, business as usual, still, noise and all these things. But we as a human are naturally agile, I will say. We have that. But then, when you come with the frameworks and all this confusion, then people get lost. So I stopped actually using 2 words, agile. I call it agility because it resonates more with me. And then transformation, I replace it with evolution. Because how can we enable organization to evolve in the next stage? And I don't know, probably all of you remember, when all this agile revolution started, showing this butterfly, right? Transformation, butterfly. And I provoked it once, one guy said, yeah, I know, but most of the butterfly just die after 1 day, right? Is that what we can expect from transformation? So, evolution for me, it's a stronger word. But what we decided to do, we organized actually this, I organized this senior vice president in 4 groups, and each of them actually got the task. And they organized themselves again as a Scrum team, working on a kind of sprint, weekly, bi-weekly basis. And we used this, they call it the catalyst canvas, They defined the goals, then we bring some agility into, why now? Let's understand why we want to do this. What could be possible obstacles that can prevent us, like impediments, what we know, what will be the first small steps we will do towards reaching our goals, and how we are going to measure, our progress and so on. They like it. They work it actually for, a couple of months actually. I have been visiting them also on a monthly basis in Grenoble, in France. La France, viva la France. But this is actually what they achieved for this short period of time. When they were committed, they had a clear goals, and they actually reduce it. Don't ask me what this BOV or OTDC means. I never understood it. Something, from the plant level and so on. But they switch actually, and they start feeling, from these recovery challenges to the normal context, organize a lot of workshops, working as a team, they realized actually makes sense, working across the different plants to align and the components and so on, creating cross-functional teams, embracing the change, that's something that will help them. And they actually reduce this tension, which was actually between them, but also between the plants. So to summarize, I thought, I know everything about Denmark, that I made mistakes. I assume it, but I learned hard way. I also understand working with these companies and growing, that we really need to understand the culture before bringing agility or any other, change. I also learned, and by bringing agility into the organization, it can actually help by using the magic word. And what's that word? Let me hear you. Come on. Magic word. It's one word. Yeah, almost there. Collaboration. Yeah. One more. It's end. Oh my gosh. Aha, experience, right? So, we got great presentations about, Agile Manifesto, values, and this over stuff, kind of kill all this agility idea. But when we approach organization and teams, of course, we will not change everything. We will not promise you, that we will save the world. We will take what do you have right now, and then we will build on that. And by doing that, for example, in this case, with this French company, yes, we have these long-term plans and everything, but we should also kind of, think on this short-term flow of optimization instead of resource of optimization. Also, some of these, agility words what we have heard or learned through our careers. So try to remember that, and is really magic word. And I don't know if you have a time for questions, or you might have some questions. Do we have a time?
Minutes till 3 minutes. So
Okay.
I think at least one can be accommodated.
Yeah. If anyone.
Oh,
Hello, thank you for the talk.
Thank you.
One thought that came up was like how to deal with the resources that were between plants. Yeah. Imagine that we have two different projects going on in the same company, competing for the same resources. Who solves that dependencies and prioritizations? Elaborate a
They
bit.
were this senior vice president where they actually created kind of, Excel with the planning, with all the people involved. And then they collaborate together to say, okay, we need, Gustavo this month in a plant in Hungary. Ellen, we need you in, in Germany or whatever. So in that way, they create, this visibility and transparency. So everybody knows what is happening, and they communicated actually on, a bi-weekly basis, just like, sprint review. So that's helped them. Thank you for asking. Any more question? Sounds no. And it's not scam or something. If you just can scan it, it's going to Miro as a feedback for me. I will really appreciate it. And thank you. And if you want to connect or talk with me, you can book me so we can talk. But also here today, I'm here today as well. Thank you so much. Thank you.